Army Men Team Assault was released by 3DO in 2001 for the PlayStation. Yes, that 3DO. And is the last Army Men game of the 5th generation, a couple of years before the 3DO company went defunct. I remember seeing lots of different Army Men games being released. Some were okay, but they declined in quality as the years go by, and this title is the perfect case in point. So watch your back, stick together, keep your weapons loaded, and maybe we might get through this review without a scratch. To sum up the story, I think a bunch of soldiers easily broke out of a war prison, escape enemy lines, and quietly develop themselves to turn the tide. I don't know, that's all I can get from the text. Yes, there's virtually no dialogue in this game whatsoever. That's fucking lazy. I didn't think the 3DO was that much of a flop that their future games didn't have enough in the budget for voice actors. Even the voice of a child who's pretending to play the army man on the floor of his bedroom would have been good enough. Now, watch this first cutscene again. This completely sums up the technicality of this game. The graphics look like melted plastic. I know this is on the PlayStation 1, but did I mention this came out in 2001? The PlayStation 2 was already available on store shelves. What would you rather pick? This part here makes the army men look like giants, the vehicles turn like a block, and it doesn't even look like a child's bedroom floor unlike most army men games. And the music. What music? Oh, that's right, there's none whatsoever. The only things you get to hear are 10 different sound effects at best, and they're all low quality. All these problems could be forgivable if the gameplay more than made up for it. But no. This game feels like it cost $267.19 with half of that money used from gift vouchers. Hell, it's probably small enough to fit onto a Super Nintendo cartridge. It'd be better to use that money on real army men and make your own story and setup. If you want to know how to use every weapon, the guy who puts text on your screen in training will teach you. All training teaches you is how to use every weapon and item. And yes, you will need to use everything at least once during the campaign, so to some degree, the training is actually useful. I've always wanted to blow up a wooden billboard with a bazooka. You use 2 soldiers on almost every mission. So where are the other soldiers then? Watching the other 2 from a distance sacrifice themselves while they're eating popcorn? You can switch from one to another instantly at any time. Always make sure when you switch, the soldier is covered or otherwise you'll just stand there like a scarecrow and get shot. Couldn't they program it so you can order the soldier to follow you or take cover? Added to this, it only takes one soldier of the 2 to get killed to fail the mission. Reminiscent of multiplayer Battletoads, only you have no one to blame but yourself. But at least you get infinite continue so you don't have to experience the first few blurry levels over and over again. Soldiers have 2 different traits, like one can use a sniper or an explosive, and most missions involve using the traits. For example, this mission requires soldiers that can use heavy weapons and communication technology, so you have to select the soldiers that can do those things, which means every soldier isn't sitting on their ass. Though I do question their existence when you're using only 2 of them, and that's the only variety you get. One moment you're shooting from long distance, next thing you're blowing up big things. Other level changes include shooting on a plane, train, and submarine. Don't even get me started with the vehicle controls. Considering the word team is in the game's title, you expect it to have multiplayer. Well, it does. But that's not saying much. All you get is capture the flag and one-on-one, which looks like a training ground. I mean, it's set up with different weapons and cover, but if you get the bazooka, it's already over. On Capture the Flag, you set up different AI soldiers and go on your own to single-handedly take the flag off enemies' hands. The last time I played against someone on Capture the Flag, none of us could even get to each other's base. It went on for so long we quit because it got too repetitive. To add insult to injury, there's no multiplayer campaign. Why wouldn't you put 2-player on the campaign mode if it involves 2 different soldiers at once? Wouldn't it be the perfect opportunity to make it multiplayer? Oh, wait. This is 3DO we're talking about. Of course not. The controls are terrible. For starters, you can only move forwards and backwards. If you want to move side to side, you have to roll, which is something I usually don't bother doing. When shooting, there's no aim. You just move the soldier in a particular direction and shoot. You can only aim when using a sniper, which is even worse. There's no real analog control, so you have to make precise touches to aim it in the right direction. The bullet goes down on the scope, not straight on. It becomes obvious when you're shooting really far away. And the final nail in the coffin, the scope is inaccurate. Seriously, the actual cross mark is here, not the middle. When you're throwing a grenade or shooting a mortar, if you're on target mode, you can't escape it. You just have to throw or shoot regardless. Did I mention you can only use the D-pad? If you're in a prone position, you can't even use your gun. It just shoots the ground. The shitty graphics don't exactly help the fact that the levels are really glitchy. If you're on a hill, especially when you're crouching, you can only shoot depending on the elevation, and you can't go through certain places. I think I've said enough. The controls are broken beyond belief. Not the worst ever, but enough to take away any hope of this game being slightly enjoyable. So, to sum up. Well, is it any wonder why this game doesn't even get its own Wikipedia page? I think I'm starting to regret playing this game long ago. Yes, I grew up playing this game, because looking at it now and taking off my nostalgia mask, it's rubbish. A 1.5 out of 10. For people who are searching for the worst games ever made, I think I found another one. It has horrible low-res graphics, no music, no dialogue, lots of glitches, only a dozen different sound effects, and broken controls. It was outdated instantly after it was released. 3DO really outdid themselves, didn't they? And I have one of the 102.49 million units in front of me right now. The layout. It has a power button, reset, eject, put the game in, simple as it should be. Down here you have 2 slots for memory cards and controller input. Having only 2 slots is disappointing considering that rival systems have 4.